Secret All right, Radio Land. Let's go. Don't forget the roll. Really loud in here. Tidal Wave. All right, this is an old one for all the younger fans. It's a song about Barry Hogan.
Like a tidal wave.
This one's also dedicated to Barry Hogan.
Over here in the city sun. coercing people.
Yeah, so what's going to happen now?
Well, we'll see, won't we? Because we have Osees live in session. So welcome to the programme, fellas. Just amazing to get you here eventually, as we've already discussed.
Hey, boys. Hi.
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
No, very much our pleasure.
Absolutely. So, John, would you mind spinning around the room and just telling everybody who's playing?
Yeah, we have Tim Hellman on bass, Paul Quattrone on the golden sparkle drum kit, Dan Rincon on bongos, Tom Dolis on keys, and me on guitar and vocals.
Absolutely. And for previous experience of this programme, I'm surprised he came back. Tim's obviously been in with Flatworms before, and Paul with Warm Drag. So now you've all done it. So we're just so thrilled about this, so I won't go on about it. But I saw you playing last night. It was amazing. It always is amazing, and we'll get to the kind of dynamics of the band a bit later. But at the end of the show, I saw you backstage for a while, and then you went and had a shower, and then you came out and you had to disappear because you still lug your own gear, which is cool.
It's because we're cheap.
Well, no, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing to do. You don't need 3 massive trucks like ELP, do you?
No.
You don't need.
If it's too big for me to carry, then I'm done.
Yeah, no, that's it. And so, but you also left with 2 bottles of water. When you're on these tours, you tour so much. Do you have to really make sure that you don't go overboard on anything? Because
this is the first time nobody's ever seen me leave a show with 2 bottles of water, though. I feel like I'm trying not to drink on this trip for some reason. It's terrible, by the way. But yeah, usually it would just be drinks with you at the end of the night. Honestly, last night when I'm not drinking, I just have to crawl back to the hotel and avoid any fun.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
best of luck to whoever, but you know.
But like I say, you're just touring relentlessly, aren't you?
Yeah,
so you've got to look after yourself. I think it's a very sensible thing to do.
Yeah. We mostly are just eating adrenal glands in the mornings. Yeah, the black market is really rich in the UK, so blood.
We're talking about sensible, though. I mean, there are a few things that you did last night, which you have done previously, that aren't that sensible, if you don't mind me saying. You put the microphone completely in your mouth.
It's my own mic, though.
Yeah,
it's my own filth.
But it was Mancunian electricity last night. But anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's 240, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And also, you put a live guitar plug in your mouth.
Yeah.
And you also...
That's actually Paul's.
Is that... Right, okay.
Paul brings his own leads. You have a mic if you want to interject.
Yeah, please do, fellas. Feel free.
So everybody say hi. Come on now.
Hello. Just a joy to have you here. And so, but your guitar, you are holding it there. It's a beautiful old Gibson, but it has got teeth marks on it. And so
it does, yeah.
I saw you playing last night, and you held the guitar in your mouth and then strummed it.
I just realized I was nodding on air.
Yeah,
nodding,
that comes across these days. Yeah, they pick it up the microphones.
Yeah,
They're
that
great.
all happened. It's true.
So long as you're not nodding off, that's fine.
Yeah. No, that's beyond me now.
Okay, so I think I first probably came to the Osees, whichever kind of format it was at that time, but it was around about 2012, and you were kind of a bit more psych in a way, a bit more poppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Certainly.
And then, of course, you had the original 2-drummer lineup, and everything kind of just switched at that point. What made you decide to do that? What kind of pushed you in that direction?
Basically, at the time, I was looking for... There were a lot of 2-drummer bands in my hometown in Providence, and I always liked it. And then we were just kind of trying to find a place for Lars Finnberg in our band, I think. And as you know, Lars from The Intelligence and A-Frames, he can play kind of anything. And we were just working together a bunch then, and I thought it would be fun to bring him in. And he was definitely like second banana drummer to Mike Schoen. But it was just really fun. It was really fun to have Lars on the road. He's a lunatic, or at least he was back then. Now he's calmed down quite a bit, as we all do. Yeah, and it was just a more powerful visual thing and more fun, you know, louder, always. Yeah, I've definitely upgraded my amps since then to accommodate these 2 guys playing drums.
Sure.
It's a much louder experience now than it was then even, you know.
I mean, I played in the lineup of the Fall with 2 drummers, and I have to say, even us, like, you know, we felt infallible with 2.
You know, yeah, certainly. I think I always loved even a drum corps, like a high school drum corps. And I don't know about here, but in the States, there's a lot of like, you know, band would be like, you know, tubas and, you know, big brass sections with drums. I always loved that. And I always loved even like Talking Heads were doing it with big, like lots of drummers. You know, I thought that was really cool. Even God forbid, Paul Simon, some of his solo stuff. Lots of drummers. I'm a fan though, you know, like I like percussion, you know. Fela Kuti, Kanono #1, seeing something with like lots of percussion elements is always really cool to me. Old jazz stuff, like fusion stuff in the 70s, you know. Drums, Adam and the Ants.
Can I just?
I'm not going to say the Grateful Dead, but
Okay.
yeah,
I will.
Mark's like, get out.
Seeing, you know, we're a broad. There's no wrong answers
Yeah,
in
yeah,
music,
yeah.
is it?
I don't know about that.
Seeing as they've all got, seeing if you've got mics here, how do the drummers feel about this?
How do you feel about two drummers? It's loud.
Oh, you could have started something now, Gid.
It said loud, and Paul actually can't hear you.
Well, as long as they're happy.
How do I feel about crumbs?
Crumbs,
Yeah.
something about two crummers. I don't know what that means. That feels wrong.
Yeah, I'd imagine that. Is there excitement from playing alongside another drummer, another drummer you admire and you love playing alongside? Does that add to what you do?
Yeah, it's like playing to a wonky click.
Yeah, they can't
So you're-
stand
hang
each
on.
other. I don't know if that's apparent. They actually don't get along.
You're describing Dan, Paul, as a wonky
It
click.
feels the same. It's mutual.
Right.
It just he's just got.
I would
he's got
actually
different-
say that's a two-way street there, buddy.
We have this uncanny ability to get bands fighting amongst them each other when
Oh,
they've been
yeah.
harmonious.
Well,
It's-
you still have a bit of the fall in you.
well, evidently.
You brought a little bit of the Smith out of the grave.
But you're talking about all those different kind of elements that you listen to. But I remember you sent me a link a few years ago now. I think it was like a Lancashire folk recording from about 1930.
Oh, the Copper family?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Very
So,
cool.
I mean, talking about a broad church as Gid just did, I mean, there's so many
I
different
love
elements.
everything. I really do. I'm really lucky in the way that there's even stuff that I can't stand that's contemporary, but every now and then I'll hear a bit of it and I'll be like, all right, that's all right. Like Billie Eilish kind of like lured me back into the pop world a little bit where I was like, okay, this is interesting enough. And now she climbs at our climbing gym and she wears basketball shorts, so she's lost me again. But you know, sometimes the door gets kicked open and I certainly have learned to love a whole genre of music based on the one sort of catalyst to get me in there. And I think everybody hears the same way, where you hear something and you're like, this is great. And then as it is with music and art in general, it's this addictive, like, sort of spreading thing where you plant a seed and then you start digging around in there, you know? And I'm really lucky that way, that I feel like some people get stuck, like you meet like metalheads who only like metal or whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like that isn't a thing with me. I'm open to whatever, as long as you don't suck, which, you know, let's be fair, a lot of it sucks. But
Yeah.
but the good stuff that's why the good stuff is so great, you know, the gem in the rough.
It's funny though, because I mean, there's that thing, we've discussed it before on air, but the guilty pleasures thing is just nonsense, isn't it?
Oh yeah, me and you have argued about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
we should never talk about Iron Maiden again.
Well, funnily enough, we both
Until get Tim Hellman. Tim's leaving. Tim's leaving.
I'm cornered. Gid, look after me. Help.
I'm very fond of the first album. I do say that about a lot of
Yeah,
people.
he just
but-
passed away too. This one's for him too.
Oh,
huh?
for, yeah,
Paul.
we are for Diano. Yeah, absolutely.
I tell you what, we're doing this thing quotation mark tonight, and then one week Gid we give out quotes and clues towards one particular musician, and he was actually a member of Iron Maiden.
It was a founder. It was Steve Harris. It wasn't a member of Iron Maiden.
No,
it was Steve Harris.
He is Iron Maiden.
Yeah, well, there you are.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Even Iron Maiden would say that all these years later. They'd be like, yeah, thanks, Steve.
I'd only heard of
He only
Bruce.
doesn't fly the plane, I think, right?
Right. Well, I'd only heard of Bruce Dickinson and also Paul Di'Anno was it, the original
Yeah, yeah.
one. So
R.I.P.,
I didn't get it right. But Richard Dawson, we're both big fans of Richard Dawson, John. And one of his favourite bands is Iron Maiden. So, you know, it is. You've got to accept it. Tim, you a proper metalhead on the quiet?
I wouldn't say proper, but
Tim likes his metal.
yeah, I like metal.
Yeah, right, okay. Well,
Tim likes poppy metal, which I can relate to. You know what I mean? Like metal with like a real hook, which is a very English thing. I think the British new wave of metal was extremely poppy, which is probably what initially irritated you, I would guess, because the fall was so weirdly anti-pop while accidentally being extremely hooky.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I remember we had a conversation at Victoria Park, and I said to you, oh, you started talking about the new wave of British heavy metal, and I said new album. You said, oh, I love new wave of British heavy metal.
Heard that.
Yeah, I said, you know, you said
I
I
use it
love
all the time now.
New Wobham. I said, but you thought I'd said you're welcome. So the conversations when you said I love the new wave of British
welcome.
heavy
You're
metal.
like, thank you very much.
And I went new Wobham, and you went, did you just say thank you very much? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm responsible for a couple of things, but certainly not new Wobham.
I mean, you're a fast talker and I'm a little deaf.
Well, I talk a lot of rubbish very, very quickly. Right, they've got loads more questions. We've not even touched on them, really, but we need to get the music. So we've got 4 tunes coming from Osees right now. In this order, Chem Farmer, Blimp, Tidal Wave, and Encrypted Bounce. So are you good to go, guys?
I think so. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, Osees. Wow,
Cheers,
thank you.
everybody.